Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike bringing you another TCGO match. Should be Monday upload. Using another new deck in this video. Well, not quite new, but new updated deck. I'm going to be playing Empoleon Dusknoir, which is a deck I've enjoyed quite a bit. This is a very early build of the deck. I've changed it up quite a bit since, but still, it's going to be a pretty good match. My opponent flips over a Landorus, which is a card some people have been kind of retesting since the new set has come out. I think it's a pretty strong card. It always has been. I'm kind of surprised it didn't see more play last format. I'm thinking maybe people just forgot it existed, but you have the possibility to hit turn 2 attack for 80, fighting type attack for 80 with Abundant Harvest, which is pretty good. My opponent's playing a deck that I've seen mentioned around the community. It's Landorus, Mewtwo, Roserade, and maybe Buffon too. I don't remember if he has Buffon in there, but basically just kind of an anti-metagame deck with Roserade added for consistency. It's an interesting deck. Mewtwo takes care of Blastoise variants, and Landorus does a number on anything weak to fighting, which is Eels and Darkrai. Still remains to be seen whether Eels is going to be good or not, but I have a feeling it is going to be pretty good still. Just my gut, and from getting beaten by it still on a fairly regular basis. So my opponent here gets the Roserade in turn 2, and then he's able to use La Perfume to get a Juniper, get himself an entire new hand after playing his hand down to 0, so that's amazing for him. I catchered up the Roselia on the first turn just to try and buy myself some time. Might have been a waste of a catcher, but I felt like I needed to. I don't have a supporter. I really don't want that Landorus to start swinging for 80 on turn 2, or turn 3 even for that matter. So this is going to make it a little bit harder for him to get that to happen. And I do have the rare candy into Empoleon on my next turn, which, as long as I don't get end, thankfully I won't be able to here since he already used the Juniper, I'm going to be able to candy into Empoleon and hopefully then diving draw and get going. I don't even have another energy, so unless I get an energy, I'm not even going to be able to attack next turn. He grabs a Mewtwo here and puts DCE down on it. Kind of a strange play. Mewtwo's not particularly good in this matchup, so I'm not sure why he chose to get that. I think he probably had better choices, but anyhow, at the time I recorded this, I was playing a pretty heavy Dusknoir line. If I made the deck again, I would probably trim it down a little bit, because you really don't need Dusknoir till mid to late game. That's really when he gets good, and having him before then, it just kind of makes him catcher bait. So I do get Dusclops here, as well as a Prinplup, but unfortunately I don't draw any energy, so I'm kind of stuck. I'm just going to call for family just to thin out my deck a little bit more, and I really need to hit a supporter soon, or at least another Empoleon. If I can get another Empoleon, I can get another diving draw, which obviously gives me 4 cards a turn, and that should be good. So he's just going all in Mewtwo here. It seems like he's going to energy switch up to his Roselia and then X-Ball me for 100. He has 2 DCEs on that Mewtwo, and that thing is starting to look pretty scary. I know I said before, Mewtwo not particularly good in this matchup, but if you get like 6 energy on it, it's pretty damn good. So here I get into another Empoleon with my diving draw. Still no energy though. And so I hope I don't drop that Duskull. I need to discard that for diving draw. No, what are you doing? Oh, I did get an energy. Never mind. Sorry. So I just drop it. Okay, yeah, that was definitely the right move. By dropping the Duskull, I put myself at 90 damage, which will be enough to 2-hit KO this Mewtwo, unless he does that. He goes for the potion, which is going to take him out of KO range. and yeah, allow him to get another X ball in. All he has to do at this point is attach an energy, and he will be able to take me out with X ball. He'll be doing 140 damage. And one of the strengths of Empoleon is the prize exchange. Empoleon is a big, beefy Pokemon. He's a really cheap attacker, and he only gives up one prize when he goes down. Normally, it's very hard for your opponent to take you down in one shot, too. And, maybe he needs 2 energy. Yeah, he's only going to do 120. I miscalculated. Yeah, so I am going to survive. And you can see there, it's very hard for your opponent to take you down in one shot. And you can generally 2-hit a lot of their things. Not always, but being able to, trade 2-hit KOs with EXs obviously puts you ahead on the prize exchange. And it's really good. So I get Dusknoir here. I just go ahead and evolve him and kind of decide I'm going to sacrifice my first Empoleon just to try and get as much damage as possible. All of his energy is on the Mewtwo, so if I take that thing down, I'm going to be in pretty good shape. He's just been investing everything he has into building up a big Mewtwo. And if I can take care of it, I should be able to swing the momentum back into my favor. I am going to go down 2 prizes, but I feel like I still have a decent shot, despite not having a hand for the entire game. I'm hanging in there. Diving Draw is keeping me alive. Something I'm going to need to start looking for is another Empoleon, though. That's another reason I need to thin down the Dusknoir line. I really need to fit in a secondary attacker in this deck. At the time, I just had Empoleon as the attacker, which obviously doesn't work out so well when you need to stream them constantly. You usually do have a few turns in between needing them, but it can get hard to get them after the first few, especially once you start losing them out of your deck. So he makes a really good play at this point. He actually goes for the N, which does give me a new hand, so that was maybe not his best choice, but what he does with the cards he gets is pretty smart. He catches up my undamaged Empoleon and is going to attack that. However, never mind. He doesn't have any energy, so he can only do 100 damage, which means he pretty much wasted his catcher. Ends me into a max potion, which means the attack was completely useless, and now I still have 2 Empoleons instead of just the 1. Granted, the other one is heavily damaged, but he could have taken it out. Now I have an option for 2 diving draws if I need them. So I'm definitely going to take a KO here, but thanks to having Dusknoir on the field, I can actually... Why did I grab a Prinplup? Did I not see the other Piplup in there? I think I completely missed it. I'm just doing it to thin my bench anyhow, but I don't know why I grabbed that. So, as I was saying, thanks to Dusknoir, I'm going to be able to move all of the excess damage off of this Mewtwo, which is quite a bit. I believe he was at 150 damage. So I can move that off. I'm going to be doing 90 damage. So I can bring the Mewtwo down to 80 and spread the remaining damage however I want, and that way I don't waste the damage and it's still on his board to play around with. A lot of times with Dusknoir, you just want to get as much damage on the board as you can and then go for one big turn where you knock out a bunch of stuff, but in this case it's really important for me to take out his energy, and so I need to take the Mewtwo KO as soon as I have it. That's going to put a lot of pressure on him. He was only able to attach 1 energy that wasn't onto Mewtwo. He put 1 energy onto his Landorus, and so he will be able to Abundant Harvest, but Landorus is actually weak to water, which means that he is just going to go down in 1 hit. I'm going to be doing 120 damage, 140 damage to him no matter what, because I can fill my bench out, and then he has to have an active, so there's no way he can get around a KO of the Landorus. It's just going to go down. And now that he doesn't have Mewtwo anymore, he's in some trouble. On top of that, I left about 50 or 60 damage on his board, and that's going to be key on this next turn. You see here, he does go for the Abundant Harvest, but he's not able to do anything else. And so after I dealt with the Mewtwo, it was really all downhill for me from this point on. Thanks to Dusknoir, I'm going to count up the damage real quick. I have 40 on Landorus, and I believe 30. Yeah, 30 on the Roserade. So I have 70 damage total. And that is going to allow me to move all of the excess damage onto the Roselia and knock it out before it gets a chance to evolve into Roserade. And again, this is really important because it means he's not going to be able to use La Perfume to get himself back into the game. I'm just going to take the Roselia out before it has a chance to evolve. I have exactly enough damage, conveniently, to take it down. And then Landorus is going to go down on this turn as well, and he's just going to be forced to promote a Roserade, which can't really do anything. It's not an attacker. So you can see in just 2 turns, I was able to swing the game around back into my favor after a really bad start and being forced to deal with an aggressive Mewtwo. So this is a deck I really like. I don't think it's tier 1, but it's certainly competitive. It can keep up. Sometimes it just gets outsped, though. That's the problem with any Stage 2 deck, but at least with Empoleon, you have the guaranteed security of having the draw power built into the deck once you get it going. So probably need to tweak my list, but definitely a fun deck to play. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Check out the links in the description. Leave me a comment about the match if you want to do that, and I will have more coming your way shortly. Thanks for watching, guys.